On a trip.
Oh, really?
Bighorn.
Nice.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Latter part of July, first week of August, just for I think 4 days.
That's perfect time to go.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Hopper time they said so.
Yep. Probably PMDs.
Pardon?
Probably actually PMDs would be better.
PMDs.
PMD fishing should be good that time. So I'll start tying this guy. Okay, here we're going to be tying a sculpin with a deer hair head. And the materials we're going to be using for the tail, we're going to be using a grizzly colored marabou. The body is going to be emu feathers, and we're going to wrap it with the woolly bugger hackle. And then for the gills, we're going to once again use the grizzly marabou. And then for the head, we're going to be using deer hair and cutting it. So, first step is we're just going to wrap our thread back to the bend of the hook. And lost my scissors here. There. And then for the tail, we're going to take 2 marabou feathers and match them up. Measure them out about 1 inch beyond the bend of the hook. We don't want the tail to be too long because then the fish will short strike this fly. And secure it down. Now, next step is we're going to take a piece of hackle and tie it in by the tip with the concave side pointing downward. Secure that in. And then we're going to take 2 emu feathers, and this is for the body. There's 2 nice long ones. We're going to trim off the really thick part and then tie them in. Now we're going to wrap up about 2/3 of the way up the shank, and we're going to start forming our body. So wrap those emu feathers. And these are going to give the fly a nice buggy body. We're going to take our grizzly hackle and wrap that to give the fly some nice barring on the body. And at this point, if you want, you can tie some flash on. I'm just going to leave this one natural. And give it some gills here. We're going to take grizzly marabou feathers once again for gills, and we're going to tie one on each side. Trim those off. And now we're going to start to form the head. Make sure all your materials are secured down. With the head, we're going to start cutting chunks of deer hair about a pencil in diameter or so. We're going to just lay it over top. Give it 2 or 3 real tight wraps down. We're going to pull back and we're going to come forward. And that's going to give that fly that nice deer hair collar on top, and now we're actually going to start spinning it. Just add another chunk of deer hair, and this one we're going to lay over top, and this is where it's nice to have a really slick thread, like a GSP thread. We're going to do one loose and then a second one tight, and then we're just going to tighten that up. Pull back, and we're going to come up. Another chunk of it. And the same thing. One loose. And then on the second one tighten up and just let it spin. And we're about there. If you had a little more room, you could do one final wrap. Whip finish that and cut the thread. And then we're gonna take our scissors and just come straight across. And this is going to give the fly a real nice flat head. Do that on top and on the bottom.
And then, like 6 months out, I was going to pin up something about 1 out west.
And then what we're going to do is pinch down here. Trim off these extra fibers. Same thing over here. Pinch and cut at an angle. trim that up a little bit, and then that's gonna give you the nice flat head that's gonna dart really well in the water. And that's your deer hair head sculpin.